live.
Live.
All right, everyone. Welcome. End of the year. James,
Nick,
what's our topic again today?
for the fifth time, how to build a salon that runs without
How
you
to build a
behind the
salon
chair.
that runs without you behind the chair. That is the ultimate goal, ladies and gentlemen. I think for most of you salon owners, it's like you want your business to run without you, and you don't want to be the sole breadwinner in your salon. Because if you are, then what begins to happen is you can't take vacation. You can't take a break. You need to go to work in order to pay the bills. So part of owning a business is not being the business. If you're in a suite right now, this is going to be a real big challenge. If you are in a smaller salon, even 3 chairs, it's much easier. So let me just speak to all the hairstylists real quick. Owning a salon takes an identity shift. So if you are going to be an owner, you have to fully commit to being an owner. And that means you're not a stylist anymore. And for the owners out there, if you still think like a stylist and you still think like a barber who works behind the chair, you need to completely change how you think of this business and step into your salon owner, barbershop owner mindset. Because every decision you make is going to be made from the perspective of a hairstylist. And that's not going to really get you to where you need to go to step away from behind the chair. Right now, you think that you need to make money. And this is the hardest thing that I had to deal with. Like, I made so much money behind the chair. How could it be possible that my salon could actually make money without me doing the work behind the chair? Because you really just keep all that profit for yourself. And then you kind of rely on your salon team to pay the bills for you. And that's just not a reality for some people. Some people actually make really good money owning a salon, but they do things differently. They don't rely on themselves. So the first thing I would do if I had to do this all over again is I would treat myself like an employee if I was working behind the chair. And what I mean by that is if you have a commission structure in your salon, and this goes against everything I ever did coming up through the ranks. But now looking back, as a business owner, this is how I would do it. I would treat myself like an employee. I would give myself my commission, even if it's not W-2, right? Even if you just allocate the commission like you do for everybody else, and then put the difference in your in an account somewhere. You could still 1099 yourself from a separate entity. I'll get into that on a different conversation. But you want to make sure that what you're doing behind the chair, you're stripping away that commission. It's going back into the salon again. So when you do replace yourself, and this particular chair that I'm sitting in now is being worked at by a stylist, the numbers kind of stay the same. Then I'm able to kind of build that person up, and I'm able to still have the same profit and the same real revenue at the end of the month that I can pay my bills with and pull a profit out of. So that's the first step, is you want to treat yourself like an employee. Next step is you want to make sure that you're doing things in your salon that owners do. Now, not admin, not front desk people, not assistants, that business owners do. So if you are spending your time as an owner doing $10 an hour tasks, you're never going to be a 7-figure salon owner because you're too stuck doing things that don't really drive the business forward. As an owner, you're a visionary. You have a vision. You have something called maker time. So there's 2 types of time in the world from the business perspective: maker time and manager time. I would say 80% of your time should be really dedicated towards that maker time. What are the things that bring in more clients? What are the things that keep clients coming back? What are the things that only you can do because you're the only person with the vision for the salon? That that manager time, you have to replace with somebody else to do, doing those tasks. So make a list of all the things that you do outside of cutting hair and coloring hair. Where do you spend a lot of your time at? Is it putting out fires? Is it dealing with just shit that you can pass off to a virtual assistant or pass off to somebody who can handle full focused attention, committed to these tasks, and get it done in 3 to 4 hours? I promise you, if you can get yourself an assistant, not an assistant for applying your color and doing your blowouts for you, but get an admin assistant. They're so easy to find. You can find them on Upwork. You can find them on all these other virtual assistant websites that are out there. That's step one. I want you to replace these tasks that you're doing that eat up a lot of your time, that I think a lot of you do because it makes you feel important to the business, and it's keeping you from doing the things that are really, really going to drive the business forward. So that is where I would take an account of all the things that you're doing. Are you editing videos right now? You could probably find an editor. Are you going through your emails, replying back to your guests in the salon? The front desk can do that, or a virtual assistant can do that. Like, what are these stupid tasks that you're doing? Like, are you doing all the inventory? If you spend 2 hours doing inventory, you could pay someone to do that for you. That's why it's important that you document your process. So get a camera like this. Your iPhone's perfect. Set it up. Have it film you doing the inventory as you're doing it. Get a microphone. Explain step by step how you're doing the inventory. Things that you notice that another person may not pick up on because you've been doing it for so long, and you want to kind of just do the voiceover. Explain step by step what you're doing. You take that video, take the transcription, upload it to some kind of AI, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you like to use, have it create you the ultimate guide and checklist for doing inventory. And then you do that for every single task that you do in the salon. Now, once you have the exact steps on how to do the thing, you delegate it. This will give you freedom from the stupid things that you're doing all the time. And then you could have somebody do these tasks for you. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to mix commission like with a team member and a stylist and be like, hey, I'll give you more commission to do this particular role. You want to separate those two. You want to pay them a completely separate salary for that role. Because what happens is, and I've done this too in the past. Hey, Jen, I want, because you're thinking like, oh, I don't have a lot of money to pay someone to do this thing, but you will. But just bear with me for a second. If you say, hey, you're getting 50% commission now, I'll give you 60, because you're thinking, I don't have to pay them for it. It comes out of their extra work. They're like, oh, cool, 60% commission. I'm going to make so much more money. They're going to do this particular task for you. Then what happens when the task's not being done properly and you remove that person? Now you have to have the conversation about taking away their commission. And it just is a hard conversation to have. It's silly. So like, all right, Jen, I'm going to pay you $200 a week to do this particular inventory task or do whatever the thing is. Makes it a lot easier when you pull that task away and replace it with somebody else. In the beginning phases of owning a salon, like you're not sure like where your money's going, and you're stressed because like you are making, $200,000 a year behind the chair, and you're spending majority of that money and you're reinvesting into the business, and you're like, where's my money at? And you're like, I have no money to pay somebody else. That's because you have no time to focus on the business. You don't know what's going on with your inventory because you have so much color. You got so many products in the back bar. You don't have time to negotiate with your distributors. But if you paid somebody, even just $200 to do that for you, now because you're still behind the chair, let me just recoup that money for you. That 2 hours it takes you to do inventory, you could apply a full highlight in an hour, and you make that money back. So it's like, where's your time better served? And like I just said, it's about you getting away from behind the chair. So it's going to take maybe I would say a couple months for you to figure this all out. Now, what I want you to do is start bringing in your stylist to your world. Have one of your assistants, one of your junior stylists help you apply color. Have them do your blowouts for you. Get your clientele used to everyone in your salon and trusting other people. This is the best way for you to pass on your clientele. So now you could fully step into the ownership role. If you have 10 people working in your salon and they're all booking $3,000 a week, that's 30 grand a week. You can't do that yourself behind the chair. It's pretty much almost impossible. I mean, there's ways to do it with extensions. Now, if you are the breadwinner, if you're the biggest earner in your salon, all your clients trust you, and then you're doing $5,000 a week, the next person after you is doing like $1,200 a week. There's a lot of room in their book for some of your clients. Start pushing them off to other people. With the extra free time, now you can really start focusing on the numbers. Where's your profit going? Who's doing the marketing for you? Is it a social media team? Are you inspecting what you expect? Do you have somebody doing your SEO for you? Are you talking to your distributor trying to get the best deals possible for color? What's going on with your color anyway? Do you have a parts and labor system in place? Do you have a mentorship program or a coaching program that you're involved in that you're neglecting to do the things that they're teaching you because you're so busy behind the chair? Take some time in your schedule. What I like to do is block off 3 hours every morning of focused work, just focusing on one particular area in that timeline. Because if you could focus just on your marketing, how many new clients came from Facebook last month? How many new clients came from Instagram last month? How many came from TikTok? How many came from email marketing? How many came from the chat to chair method? And then take a look at which is the one of these different social media platforms that's driving the most amount of business. Now, if it's Instagram and you're spreading your attention evenly between Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, guess what you do? You double down on Instagram, become a better creator, create better content, figure out what is the one reel or carousel or post that you did that brought in most of the people in the last couple of weeks in your salon. Make that into an ad, then recreate that type of content again to drive in more traffic so people are getting busy in your salon. If you're so busy behind the chair, by the time you get done with work, you're shot out. You just can't focus the proper attention to your marketing, to your leadership, to your finances. And then what you try and do is you try and do it on one of your days off. But then your days off, what you try and do is other shit you have to do for your kids and your husband and your wife and whatever you have to do personally. So then you just get into this vicious cycle of pushing everything off. And then 3 years down the line, you're still the busiest person in the salon. Your salon never grew outside of you. And then you're back to where you are again. So you have to implement this. You have to peel yourself away from the chair. If you still love doing hair, that's fine. If you want to do hair and you're like, Nick, I hate doing all the other ownership stuff. Like it just bothers me. I don't want to do it. The beautiful part about this industry is you could pay someone else to do it for you. You could still just work behind the chair. You could work full-time behind the chair and hire a full-time manager in your salon. There's something that you hear me talk about called an org chart. So you have an organizational chart in your business. And what you do is you break up each one of the areas of your business to particular positions in your organization. So you have your chief marketing officer, you have your chief financial officer, you got your CEO. You have these little areas of your business, like your marketing, your finances, your operations that you do yourself right now as an owner, kind of half-assed, to be honest with you. And now you can start delegating that to other people. Assign a person whose sole focus is just the marketing. And then you can just focus on doing your clientele. And then you have someone running the business for you and you're doing the thing that you love. Now, if you don't love doing hair anymore and you love the business side of it, then you can wear all those hats. And then as you grow your salon to either 2, 3, 4 locations, or you grow in team member sizes, then you start recruiting other people and having them do those tasks. And what you do is on a regular weekly cadence, you meet with your marketing director, then you meet with your finance director, then you meet with your operations director. What's going on with the culture? Who's doing education in your salon? How is your team growing? Is your salon helping them grow in their career, or are you just a place for them to come and sit in the back room and scroll on TikTok and Instagram? So there's a huge gap between stylist and owner. And that gap needs to get filled with skills, ownership skills, leadership skills. You have to learn the language of money. So when you sit with your accountant or you sit with your financial person, you're having an intelligent conversation. You're not just listening to them to you feed you information on what the numbers are in your business and you have no idea what those numbers mean. You have to be able to take that data and you have to be able to understand what they're saying to you and then take a look at your marketing department and be like, oh shit, we're 20 less new clients this month. What happened? What did that do to the revenue? How much money is left over at the end of the month that we can reallocate to marketing again? And then when you reallocate that money to marketing again, is it profitable? What's your customer acquisition cost? See, the whole thing about getting away from behind the chair is you're going to feel like you're not doing any work, because to you, in your mindset, work is actually doing a haircut or doing color. And that's the stylist mindset I was talking about earlier. When it comes to being an owner, work feels like it's boring. Like you feel like you're not doing anything. Sometimes you're just sitting there for 3 hours trying to figure out how to run Facebook ads because you don't want to pay an agency $4,000 to do it for you, which I totally get because they suck, majority of them. But what happens is it starts to click. You may spend 4 hours today trying to get your Facebook ads up. At the end of that 4 hours, you have nothing. You just have a list of things that you know not to do tomorrow. Then tomorrow you wake up, you spend another 4 hours in the morning trying to figure out these ads. I promise you, at the end of a couple days, you're going to have it figured out. You won't if you spend 3 hours today or 2 hours today trying to figure it out, and then you're back behind the chair again tomorrow. And then you spend another 4 or 5 weeks booked out, and then you spend, oh shit, I gotta do Facebook ads, another 2-hour time block because now you saw a YouTube video or saw someone like me talking about Facebook ads and the power of Facebook call ads and how I grew my salon from broke, near bankruptcy when I took it over to $1 million salon. You're like, shit, I gotta try this thing. And then you spend 2 hours, you don't figure it out. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna hire an agency. You hire an agency, they speak a good game on the sales call, you pay them $4,000. Now they're spending your ad budget, and now you're having no new clients come in. You're out $4,000 for the first retainer, and they're spending $4,000 or $5,000 a month in ad spend, getting no new clients because they don't understand your business. That's why you can't do hair all the time. You have to become a student of business. You don't have to be a Facebook ads expert. You just have to know the language of Facebook ads so you can hire someone from Upwork or do it yourself. You don't have to be like the best leader in the world. You don't have to be John Maxwell. You don't have to write a leadership book, but you do have to know how to have hard conversations with people. You do have to know how to keep a standard that's equal for every single person in your salon. So there's a lot of skills you have to learn. And if you just know the skills of cutting, coloring hair, doing fades, doing lashes, whatever it is that you do, you're never going to truly be an owner. So in order for you to fully step into your ownership role, you have to learn all of the skills and language required for every single position in that organizational chart. Then you can delegate it. Because a lot of mistakes that I made in the past was I delegated a particular role because I didn't feel like learning it or feel like doing it. And to be honest with you, that's where like that kind of shit the bed. I hired a marketing team and I kind of knew marketing, but I paid this company to come in and do my marketing for me. And it just did not work. Like it near bankrupted me. Had I known a little bit about Google ads and had I known what a return on ad spend should be, and had I known some of these other metrics and really important just definitions, like what these terms mean, I wouldn't have got taken advantage of. And I don't think they did it like on purpose to ruin my business. This is what they were doing, but they didn't know how to really run Google ads for a hair salon. You know how to run a salon. You know what kind of clients you're looking for. It's not that difficult to run a Google ad. It's not that difficult to run a Facebook ad. It's not that difficult to pull the person in the back room and have the conversation with them about why they're showing up late. But it is difficult when you're doing 60 hours a week behind the chair just to keep the lights on. So step one, you have to replace yourself, which means you got to pull people who are on the floor, who do hair in your salon into your world with your clients so you can start peeling those clients off. Now, if they're not good enough, you got to go back another step and train your team. You have to use every single client that you're doing as a learning experience for every person in your salon who's lacking that particular skill. I don't care if it's a stylist who's been doing hair for 5 years. If they're lacking in a skill, hey, Jen, come here for a second. See, Nancy, this is why I weave her foil in the front like this. This is why I chose this toner. This is why I overdirect the hair this way. I call people in my salon into my world and explain to them why I'm doing what I'm doing on a particular client for a specific reason. What that does is it compounds the learning experience in your salon day after day after day after day. You're not waiting for that once a month class that you're doing or that once a week class that you're doing. Every day is a learning experience. What also happens is your clients hear you teaching everyone on your team. So when the day comes that you want to step away from behind the chair and they have to go to somebody else, they're not picking the salon down the street. They're picking a stylist in your salon. Also, because Jen blew their hair out, Jess blew their hair out, Bree blew their hair out, Nicole blew their hair out. Every one of your team members has touched that client at one point in the journey that client's been having in your salon over the last 3 or 4 years. Now they feel comfortable with them, and they pick the person they most align with through conversation. If you do that, you'll be able to take all of your clientele and spread them out through your salon and have a really good retention rate, client retention rate. Then guess what? At the end of the week, you worked behind the chair one day, you might have booked $1,500 that day, but your salon made you $5,000 that week. It used to make you $5,000 a week working 5 or 6 days a week. Now you're working behind the chair one day a week and you're still making $5,000 a week. I hope that kind of didn't ramble on, because this is like a live, off the cuff, what I would do. James gives me the topic in the morning, and then I just riff on that topic. So I don't have anything around me. There's no notes here. This is not AI. This is what I did. This is how I think content should be created today, because it shows that the person knows what they're talking about. I don't need a script to tell you how to duplicate yourself in the salon behind the chair. You have to. The most important part, if you listen to this right now, is you have to take on the mindset of a salon owner. You're not a stylist anymore. I just had a conversation with one of my partners about this, because she thinks like a hairstylist still. And then when I asked her, hey, what do you do? Like when you talk to somebody at a party or you meet someone for the first time, and they ask you, hey, Barbara, what do you do for work? You should say, I'm a salon owner. A lot of hairstylists who own salons go, oh, I'm a hairstylist and I own a salon. My answer is, I'm an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. I own e-commerce stores, hair salons, agencies, coaching businesses. But when I first became an entrepreneur, I wasn't an entrepreneur. I was a hairstylist pretending to be an entrepreneur. And it took me 15 years to figure out how to become an entrepreneur. And part of the reason is because I solely relied on me making money behind the chair in order to pay my bills at home. Once I stepped away from behind the chair, like the saying, burn the boats, I had no choice but to figure it out. And then for stylists who are listening right now, or you got the stylist in your salon, here's a story about how I actually got successful doing hair. So my whole career, I was always juggling jobs because I was a hustler, right? I always wanted them to have extra money. It's because I didn't have enough focus on myself behind the chair to make that part of the business or part of my world grow. So I was a bartender. I would wait tables part-time. I would do hair part-time. There's a lot of things I did part-time, some of which I got in trouble doing, but it's for a different podcast. Now, I was bartending, making really good money, more money than I was making doing hair. I kept seeing hairstylists make really good money doing hair, and I was like, why not me? And then it dawned on me, it's because I'm not putting enough time in the salon. So I quit bartending, and I was making really good money bartending. I went all in on doing hair. I was probably like 30 at the time. Right, James? Would you say I was 30 when I opened Brick and Mirror?
No,
30,
you're older than that.
older than
'Cause
that.
I met you when you were 32.
Yes, I would have been like 34, 35. Like I was at a point in my life where I was like, shit or get off the pot. Like I have to figure something out. So I went all in. I burned all the boats. I stopped talking to any of my friends. Stopped hanging out with any of the people who were like, had a negative output from hanging out with them. And I just went to the salon 7 days a week, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Now, mind you, I had no kids at this time, no wife.
It
able
was
to do
a major shift for Nick. Like, Nick and I was one of the friends that stuck around, but Nick and I had a lot of fun together, and we, every weekend, yo, what are you doing?
We would go on the shore like 4 days in a row. I had no responsibility.
Yeah.
So I went all in on hair. In 6 months, I went from literally, I was doing like $400 a week. By September, I can't say 6 months, but like from January, I was like $400 a week. I took a salon over. I invested whatever I had saved up into the salon. And I wound up by September paying off the original loan I took out for the salon. It was my friend's dad who owned the salon first. He fronted the money for the buyout, and I paid him off over time for the business. By September, I paid all that off. I've got completely out of debt, and I was consistently booking $4,000 a week by that September. Then by the following year, I was pretty much hitting like $25,000, $30,000 months in about 14 months. At that same time, I was the hairstylist. I had that mindset of a hairstylist, but I went all in on that. Then about like a few months later, I was like, this isn't what business is about. I started really learning about the e-commerce side of things and how to grow that part of the business that of the salon business, the retail business. And it was hard. Like I got my ass kicked in that. And then I had no time to really focus on the business side of things. I was still busy doing hair. When I opened my second location, I was like, you know what? It's time that I actually act like an owner. And that's when I brought on it. I was by myself in the salon in the beginning. I had hired 2 assistants that I started peeling my clients off to. Then I brought in 3 more hairstylists. And then I stepped away from behind the chair to focus on the e-commerce. And then I was able to completely remove myself from the salon and open up 2 more locations because I had enough time to focus on growing these businesses. No way could I have done that if I was still working behind the chair. So for anyone, and no way could I have done that also if it was a rental salon. Because if you have a rental salon, you don't make a commission on, there's no revenue share split between you and the stylist behind the chair. So you kind of are stuck at a ceiling of finances if you do a rental salon. If that's your business model and you're happy, then be happy. Like then keep on rocking out. Find another way you can create some kind of stream of income doing what you do now, which is called your personal economy. And it could be a digital product, could be e-commerce, could be you could be an affiliate marketer, could be an influencer. There's a lot of things you could do, education. But the secret to really growing and scaling a hair salon is the commission model or the rev share split model that I like to use. But it comes at a cost of learning how to market, how to lead, how to run operations. I would say leadership, if you're going to focus your attention on 2 areas, it would be marketing and leadership. Reason being, if you're really good at marketing, you could attract stylists to join your team. You could attract clients to come into your salon. If you're really good at leadership, you can lead your clients to the best service for them, because leadership really is a precursor to sales. All you're doing in sales is leading their client or leading your client to the extensions they need or they want, leading them to the keratin treatment that would solve their hair frustrations with frizz, and then leading your team to show up for themselves properly, making sure they post on social media. So marketing, leadership, if you're going to focus on 2 areas right now, that's what I would focus on. If you're an owner stuck behind the chair, become an expert world-class marketer and understand every single aspect of marketing. If you dedicate a couple hours every morning over the next few weeks to months, you'll be an expert marketer. It's impossible for you not to, unless you have some kind of major disability. And in leadership, start getting really comfortable with being uncomfortable. That means speaking in front of people because you have to lead your team in team meetings, having the hard conversations with a hairstylist who brings in a lot of revenue to your salon, but yet her actions are a little toxic. You don't like her vibe she's putting off in the salon. She always has like a backwards comment to make about something in your salon, but you're afraid to stand up for yourself because you don't want her to leave your salon. That's not leadership. That's being a coward. So if you master leadership and you master marketing, you're off to the races. James,
Nick,
we're going to probably jump into a quick Q&A. If there's any questions, guys, please leave them in the chat, whether on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. GMs can see all of them. Drop your questions right now. It is, as of right now, we're filming this. It's almost New Year's Eve. We got 2 more days. So a lot of you guys should be busy in the salon. Unless it's Monday. Today's Monday, right? Yeah, so you guys might have off today, kind of recovering from Christmas. But if you're hungry, you should have your salon open today. James?
so we have a statement in question from Autumn Scheist. Right now, I can't pay my bills or staff without being behind the chair full time. Not the goal forever, but now we are slow and building. I pay hourly plus commission. Hourly is 14 per hour. Commission is 40% of service sales once hourly is covered. Since I pay hourly and we have a lot of downtime, is it a good idea to have my team work?
Okay, this is a great question, Autumn. And this is a great time for you to have them doing things like building their marketing skills.
She said work on inventory, marketing, social media content,
all of that. Anything and everything that takes your time away from doing a client right now, teach them that skill. Anytime you're doing a client, like you should really power book yourself and get yourself so overbooked and oversubscribed that the overflow goes to them. You have the skill set because you are good at doing hair. You want to make sure they're filming you. You're going live, have them go live, ask you questions. have them go out to the coffee shop and find someone sitting there who needs their hair done. Be like, hey, I need a model. We have Wi-Fi in my salon. Your roots need to get done. Let's fucking go. Have them go grab people out in the street. There's like, if you could do a combination of old school marketing and new school marketing, like if you have two people in your salon or you're slow and she's slow, do something fun with creating content. Like go out with her in the street and do a Q&A with people. Have her hold the camera, you hold the microphone, and be like, I'm going to ask you 3 hair facts, right? Or myth or fact. Cutting your hair makes it grow faster, right? And just get random people in the street and make a fun little thing about it. Go to the coffee shop down the street and do that with certain people sitting around. Like that's the kind of content that is really well on social media that you can pull into our world and things that we do. But yeah, you're gonna want to bust your ass as an owner for only so long until you're so overbooked that you can fill your other team's books. Then you start peeling off time to start focusing on growing the business. But there's going to be a time that you're going to be doing 10, 12-hour days. It's not going to be forever. It's going to be for, maybe a few months to a year. But then after that, you should be good. James, next question.
Pretty girl, what if you charge a lot more than an apprentice?
That's awesome. Because then here's how I do it. Let's say I charge $100 a haircut and my apprentice charges $30 a blowout. I cut hair dry, so this scenario works really well for me. My apprentice does the blowout. The $30 goes in their column. The $70 stays in my column. This way I can see, and they can see how much they're contributing to the salon's revenue. If they apply color with me. We split the head in half. Again, their single process is $50. Mine's $100. They get 25 in their column, and then they get the rest of it, 75 goes in mine. So you just divvy it up. Now, when your clients need to get the single process put on, they could just go to the apprentice. A lot of times you pay the apprentice by the hour. So by having you do it this way, it allows you to get more freedom in your book to do an extra client and start building their book up. If you're paying them $15 an hour or whatever you're paying them an hour, there's money coming in being generated by their particular column that's going to pay for their hourly rate. And if you have more money in that column generated by that stylist or that apprentice, then you give them a commission on it. Give them whatever greater. But yeah, your pricing should be higher. And then people who want the same experience in your salon, but not you, can go to them. Next question.
Salon Klarchmont. How do you know if they're coming from, where they're coming from? I'm guessing. I ask most of my people, and they always say Google reviews.
Okay, I like that question. Here's what I asked them. Hey, what did you search for when you were looking for salons? Oh, I found you on Google. What did you Google? What did you put in the search? Best salon near me, the most handsome hairstylist in the world. Like, how did you find me? And like, based on that is what I want to record. All right, they put in best balayage in Oklahoma. They put in best hairstylist in Detroit. They put in best salon for highlights in Fairfield, New Jersey. What is the verbiage they actually searched for? That's what I'm recording, because I want to know what they were looking for that we came. Now, the reviews are great, but they didn't find reviews. Best reviewed salon. That could be a question they asked. They didn't magically find your review somewhere. Something had to lead them there. Same goes for social media. Oh, I found you on Instagram. Okay, cool. Did you save the post by any chance? I did. Great. Let me see it. Let me see that post. Now I make a mental note, or I send it from their phone to myself, so I have it in our conversation. And then I keep a track of like all the different types of content that are bringing in all the different types of clients. And then I double down on what's working.
I am Meizuong. How about personal salon model? How can I figure out what I should prioritize doing first?
James, ask that question again real quick.
How about personal salon model? How can I figure out what I should prioritize doing first?
The personal salon, meaning like you're working by yourself?
So I'm guessing.
All right. What you want to prioritize first is a virtual assistant. So what I like to prioritize is, how do you make your money when you're in a suite or a personal salon? It's you working behind the chair. You want to make sure that you are busy behind the chair and you're not stopping what you're doing to answer emails or the phone. So Open Phone, it's an app that you can get that anyone in the world can access your phone number, text message, phone calls, whatever you need. I would have a person manning that for you right out the gate virtually. Pay someone between $4 and like $6 an hour. Now, for those of you who have a scarcity mindset, you're paying someone $6 an hour or whatever the number is. That doesn't mean you sit and do nothing. That means now you're doing hair. So if you're doing a highlight for $250, and it takes you an hour to apply the foils, guess what? So you made $245 because you're paying someone $5 an hour. Like, you just have to find a way to do something where you make more money with this time slot in your book than you're paying someone to do for you. And that's called the replacement ladder. You're replacing the tasks that you're putting off till after work. Now that client who left you a message or have called the salon can't get in. She calls somewhere else. Now she's not in your book anymore. So that's what I would prioritize first. I would prioritize getting somebody to handle the client communication with you. If you're busy, like if you're not busy, then you have to, get busy. And if you're working in the salon from 10 to 6, let's say, and you only have 2 clients a day, well, guess what? The extra hours are dedicated towards creating content, doing outreach, things like that. And you have to do that until you get too busy. James, last question.
We have a couple questions today.
Oh, cool. Fire through.
We have Sasha Lindsay. I love being behind the chair and I don't want to own a salon. Not a question, but just a topic to maybe options. If you really love being behind the chair, I love owning my suite and want options to make more money, but still be behind the chair.
Yeah. Become an educator then. Create a digital product. You can literally create, like Maria has this $27 product or a bunch of them that she sells on the internet. And she did $800,000 a month. She averages $800K a month. The only reason why you want to be behind the chair right now is because that's all you know, by the way. Like, I know you love it, but wouldn't it be nice to go on vacation and make as much money as you did on your busiest week without having to work behind the chair? Now, granted, this is your passion. You love doing it. Teach other people the skills that you have that make it so enjoyable for you to do. That's called your personal economy. Create a product line. Create an e-commerce store. So for me, I like the business side of hair more. So was an easy transition for me. I was really good at doing hair, though. I naturally had a talent at doing hair, which is why I liked doing it, because I was good at it. It just was boring to me. Like for me, this is a hard conversation when I talk to a stylist and they're just not busy. It's crazy to me. You can 100% make more money selling a digital product and educating people, because if someone's sitting in your chair right now, that's one person in your chair that you're trading your time for to do their hair. You can create the curriculum on how you apply those highlights by filming yourself, then creating a cool little class around that highlight application, how you toned it, how you cut it, how you styled it. Sell that for $47, start to finish. And then 1,000 people can buy that in a week. And guess what that number equals? $47,000. So if you guys saw one of my testimonials, or go to my testimonials or client reviews in my highlights on Instagram, there's somebody I work with. I'm not going to say his name. He is doing a 30 grand a month out of his suite, working a couple days a week now. He has a 2 or 3 chair suite. He was in a 1-chair suite when he first started working. Now he has money being generated by his other 2 chairs when he's not there. He only works like 3 days a week or 2.5 days now. His digital product should profit him 500 grand this year. And there's nothing crazy about what he's doing. So trust me, it works 100%. James.
Balayage Boss, how do you handle clients who only want you and refuse to see anyone else on your team?
Exactly what I said in the beginning of the conversation. You pull your people into your world to help you out. They're still seeing you. Hey, Jen, I know you're a couple minutes late. I know you're a couple minutes late today. Not a problem. I'm going to have Vanessa help us out, apply your color so we're not running behind. Clients are never going to be always on time. You have to be able to use what's going on in the salon, even with their hair. Ooh, Jen, like, does your hair feel dry to you? And she's going to say, yes, it does, because it's wintertime. Is it cool if we like do a mask on you today? I have a really cool treatment from Apira. It's a new hairline. Like it could change your hair completely. Like is your color's fading fast? It's probably because your hair X, Y, and Z. You explain to them it's complimentary, and she says yes. Great. So we can really maximize how long we leave that mask on her hair. I'm gonna have Jen help us apply the color. While she's sitting in the chair, or sitting in the sink with the mask on, like, hey, I want to leave this on for a couple more minutes, just so we don't run behind. I'm gonna have Jen blow you out, and then we're gonna cut you dry. You have to control the salon and who does what in your salon. When you speak with confidence and you tell people how things are going to happen, they're like, yeah, cool, no problem. You don't ask somebody, hey, and you don't put somebody like, you don't put your client, send them off like to another chair without having the conversation. They are going to agree to it based on the trade-off for something else. They're late, you squeeze them in. Their hair feels dry, they want the mask. There's a way to do it that's very elegant and effortless. And that's how I did it. My clients were the same way. I don't want to go anywhere else. You're the best. I'll wait for you. I just pulled other stylists in my world. And then as they're sitting there, you're applying the color with them. Guess what you're doing? You're making connection points between the stylist helping you out and your client because you know your client so well. Don't pull people in to help you that there's nothing for you to connect with. Like, let's say you have a 22-year-old and a 55-year-old, and your 22-year-old stylist is helping you with a 55-year-old woman. What if that woman's daughter is in dance or competitive cheer, and this girl was in competitive cheer? Guess what? There's a connection point. There's pretty much always a way to make a connection point. All right, James.
You Salon Larchmont. I have a new assistant. 3 months out of school, giving her guaranteed salary, and anything over that guarantee goes away, and she gets 45%. And I think she feels like it's not enough.
You feel like she thinks? Did you ask her? How does she get 50%? What is she doing for that 45%? Like, you have to have the conversation with her and show her the numbers. First off, let me say something. Every single hairstylist is going to feel like it's not enough. It's majority of them are going to feel like it's not enough. So you have to have the conversation with her and explain to her why your pay structure is this way, so you can invest money back into the marketing, back into the color, back into the education, back into the salon, back into the business. And when she sees the growth that you're providing for her through education and through the marketing, it starts to make sense. James.
Tamika Reynolds. Nick, my husband thinks I should just stay behind the chair because it's safe money. How do I explain this vision to someone who doesn't get it?
You can't. They don't get it. You have to show them. You think my wife wants me to do anything I do? Never. I explain my vision to people, and they think I'm fucking crazy. You have to show them. So this is why you hear people on Instagram or like don't tell anyone until you hit your goal. Like, why? First off, let's unpack this a little deeper before we end the live. What is his limited belief around being an entrepreneur? And why doesn't he feel like you're capable of doing it? Safer isn't the best. Safer is safe. Accountants are safe. That's why they're accountants and they make X amount of dollars per year. Entrepreneurs are not safe. Look at the billionaires in the world. They didn't play it safe. Look at the most successful people on the planet. They didn't play it safe. So it's just, what is his appetite for risk? And then how do you position the transition to being an owner and hitting your vision and having the conversation, because it is your husband. What are the things that are worrying you about this? And then creating the solution for him to feel comfortable with, oh, this can happen. Well, this is how I fix it. This can happen. This is how you fix it. But the best way to show them is to just do it and prove it with your actions. And the funny part is, a lot of these husbands, and this is not you directed at you by any means, they have zero idea how much money we make behind the chair. Like I used to have a client of mine. She made way more than her husband, and her husband made a lot of money. And he was always pissed at her for being on her phone and like posting on social media. It had nothing to do with the social media. He was just pissed that she was making more money than him because social media is part of her job. And I told her to tell him, this is when I'm at home or I'm dealing with clients through conversations on Instagram, that's work. Like I have this conversation with my wife all the time. She's like, you're on your phone. I'm like, no, I'm working right now. You're on your phone watching some stupid fucking video that won't provide you any income. Like that's bananas to me. So you have to let them know, your significant others, like, hey, this is part of my job, creating content. This is part of my job, like taking the risk. Like if you're an entrepreneur, this is what you sign up for. So it sucks when things don't work out. Trust me, I've been there before. But when things work out, they want to be at the party with you celebrating. You can't have the good without the bad. You have to find out what is the negative belief, the limited belief holding them back or trying to hold you back. This is why you have to be so all in and so confident and relentless with your vision and with your dream that literally no one can stop me. I've had people make comments to me in the past about my businesses and trying to do things, and it kind of swayed me. And then you get to this point where it doesn't matter what anybody tells me. You have to be so irrational and unreasonable when it comes to your dreams and your goals that people think you're bananas. They think you're absolutely fucking crazy. And you have to go commit 100% to achieving them. You may not hit the goal, right? Who you become on the way to achieve that goal is what's important, because once you have that skill set and then intestinal fortitude, you might surpass that goal. You might make a micro pivot. And let's say you're going to open the salon, and now all these skills you acquire with marketing lead you down a different path. And now you are a digital educator and you have a different program. And now you're making $400,000 a month with your education platform. But had you not taken the risk to open the salon and learn the skills of the marketing, you wouldn't be able to use those skills in another area of the business. So everything is connected. It's who you become. All right, James, I'm going to have one more question and we're going to rock and roll.
We got that's it. We actually don't have anything
else. Right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, everyone enjoy your new year. I think, James, what's today? 29th?
Today is the 29th. Yeah, we
got 2 more lives.
We're going to do tomorrow.
We got a few more lives for New Year's. So if you guys are challenged right now in your salon and you're like, you know what? I actually got some great ideas here from this live and you want to speak to me, go to apply.nickmarabella.com. I have something called the Level Up Academy, and this is where salon owners go to grow and scale their salon and actually become salon owners and entrepreneurs, not hairstylists who own a salon part-time. So if you truly want to become an owner and you truly want to achieve this vision that you have, and you might even own a salon right now, and you're not sure where your profits are, you're not sure how to lead a team, how to have the hard conversations, and you want to join something that a real salon owner teaches how he did it, then this might be the right fit for you. So that's nickmarabella.com or apply.nickmarabella.com. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe. Facebook and Instagram, you're ready to follow me. So I'll see you guys later. James, we're out.